Hello. So you join us. We've got Luke Campbell and Felix Wernham, two of our sponsored athletes, on a Zoom call. We're just going to do a very quick sort of Q&A, if that's all right, guys. Just about
that's cool,
lockdown and how you're training and stuff like that. So first of all, a big question that people will want to know about, I guess, is how is your general training going with restriction in place? And how are you basically doing? How are you keeping your fitness up?
Oh, Campbell, you can start.
Yeah, thank you, Felix. So my training seems to be pretty good. I'm still getting coached by Harry Palmer, who's part of the T3 Triathlon Club, who I was supposed to be racing for this year. So I'm still going through my coaching with him, and he's planning that out. We're fitting in as much as possible. I've got a lot of spare time at the moment, as I'm sure a lot of people do. So I'm able to cycle a lot and also run, although with our only one opportunity to exercise outside, that tends to be a run because I haven't got a treadmill. So I've been cycling indoors on the watt bike, and that's worked out pretty well so far. I believe this is week number 7 for me, or with no work, I should say.
So has Harry adapted your plan to cope with a lockdown?
Yeah, very much so. In terms of what's indoors and outdoors, how long I'm spending. I know I've seen a lot of people on social media who've been cycling on a turbo trainer for hours, but I really don't fancy doing that.
Yeah, I get bored after 10 minutes, but then I'm not a cyclist, so people said get bored swimming for hours on end, but I wouldn't. So. What about you, Felix? How are you coping?
Yeah, it's going all right. Same sort of thing as Campbell, like going out. Like I'm on my one day doing my cycling and my running. But my coach has kind of given me a bit more freedom with my kind of training. So obviously I'm going longer distance compared to Campbell. I think you're doing like more like shorter kind of sprint, like super series sort of thing. So mine's more based on more endurance type of things. But I'm allowed to have like a little bit more freedom with my sessions. Kind of I can tailor them to what I want. So she's given me like a basic structure, and then I can kind of adapt my training sessions where I want to, depending how I'm feeling and everything. But it seems to be going all right. I feel quite fit at the moment, which is quite annoying, obviously because I can't race. Yeah, it seems to be going well. I'm feeling a lot stronger and trying to do a lot of like home S&C as well. Obviously I can't go to the gym, so just trying to keep on top of that as well, everything else.
Yeah, cool. So just to explain, these guys, they're triathletes. I forgot to mention that to start with. So they got their own triathlon coaches, because I hate running and I'm certainly not going to get on a bike. But they swim with Southwest Swim as part of their deal with that. So that's just an explanation of that one. So that brings us on to the next one. But with your dryland stuff, are you doing anything swim specific? Are you working on anything swim specific and breaking it all down and up, or is it just a case of just getting in what you can?
Yeah, so it's hard if you don't have a pool. Lots of people have been buying paddling pools, again, seeing on social media, but I don't really have the space for that outside. It doesn't seem that worth it to me at the moment, as they seem to be pretty cold from what I'm hearing. If you just fill it up with time.
I've seen you in a lake at like 2 degrees, you're fine.
Yeah.
It was like for 10 seconds, but...
Yeah. So of course it's been a struggle to be in water properly, but the things you've been seeing, like the things you've been posting as well, Jason, to do with having a paddle attached to a resistance band so you can still do similar movements. Of course it's not the same, but it's all about the same muscle activation. And again, my coach Harry's been giving me sessions to do with that most days, and general strength and conditioning, improving the weaknesses. My shoulders are quite weak in themselves, so that's something that I've been working on.
So do you feel you're targeting and being specific in your dry land? Like
yeah.
Areas and just taking the time to work on them.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But no, I'd highly recommend cords for anyone watching. I'm a keen advocate of them. They're always up in my pool house, and when I'm fit enough and not injured enough to train, I do actually use my cords quite a lot. So honest, I do. But yeah, if you can get hold of them at the moment, I know Finis are out of stock worldwide. So, But yeah, what about you, Felix? And doing any swim specific targeting?
A lot of stuff with bands at the moment, and then just generally the shoulder work and just general strength conditioning. I think it's going to help quite a lot in the long run. If you've got some strength, it's going to be quite easy to transfer it back into the water. And as Lukey Campbell always says, you've got to turn these shoulders into boulders. Shoulders into boulders.
So do you miss anything about the pool? That's the next question. What do you miss most about the pool, if anything?
It's only the social side of it. No, I do love it. Swimming in itself, I like the fact that it breaks everything up as well. So you know that's the great thing about triathlon, in that you've got the 3 different, or including strength and conditioning, 4 different aspects to focus on, and so it definitely breaks up your training week. Whereas if I was a swimmer, then I wouldn't look forward to it as much. But it's something that breaks up the week, which is good normally, and it's a great social environment and occasion, and you get to swim with people who aren't necessarily the same ability, but they're in different lanes, and you can still chat and have a good time with them.
I think that's a big thing, because people have noticed that swimming is now, it's not only the physical and the training for that those events, it's the social aspect of it. And people have always said the squads have a huge social aspect, but I think now they're realizing how big a part that is. You know, is it 50-50, or is it more for some people and less for others? Because you get some people who come in the squad, don't you, and they just crack on and they're doing it, and they talk at the beginning and they talk at the end.
Depends on the set you give us, to be fair. Depends how much you can talk.
So what was that?
I said it depends on the set you give us, depends how much we can talk.
I suppose so, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the big question to it, is the social side of things. You know, it's worth getting up at 5 in the morning to go swimming if you can see you guys.
Aww.
Compared to going to the local pool on your own and just
So Felix, you got to be nice to him now about your answer.
I'm always nice to you. I'm always nice to Campbell.
Always.
He just slides in the slide comments now and again.
So is there anything you've been missing? What have you been missing about actual swimming itself?
I kind of miss, obviously, the social side of things, quite a big aspect of it. And then, like Lukey Campbell said, it breaks up your training a little bit, because like running and cycling could take quite a big toll on your body, like impact-wise, especially running. So when you have that swim, it kind of breaks it up a little bit and kind of gives your body a little bit of a rest from that kind of pounding. So that's kind of what I miss from it. But mainly it's the social side of things. You don't really get to see anyone.
Yeah, because I was going to say that's a big thing with the swim for most triathletes. It is that breaking up of the harder impact stuff of running and cycling. And a hard but more supportive, the water's supporting of the muscles and everything. So you've got to be careful, I guess, moving out into lockdown training where you can't get in water. So you haven't got that third option there to have a recovery, if you like. So.
I think that's like what a lot of people are doing, that they're just ramping up their training. I don't think they're kind of considering the whole aspect of what it's going to do to your body.
Yeah.
I know a few people who've developed a few niggles. I don't know if that's just because they ramped up or they've done something bad, but yeah, it's just something to kind of consider, I guess.
Yeah, because that was one of the questions, but you've both answered them in the previous one. So it was, have you adapted your approach to training? And you obviously both have. And I guess it's that in a sensible way as well. Like Felix says, if you ramp it up and do everything, you know, and add in extra run or bike sessions, or, you know, a lot of strength and conditionings, are you being detrimental later on? So, I mean, I did a video for Triathlon Matt last night to be included in one of his videos. And it was basically top tips for dry land. And I just think you should, if you usually do a session like 7 p.m. on a Monday as a swim session, try and replace that with a swim specific dry land session. You know, so you're still getting the movements, like you both said, working those muscle groups and technique and using the bands for doing that. So yeah, it sounds like you're adapting quite well.
Yeah, and so another thing, I've been, as you posted a few weeks ago, I was helping out Dyson with making ventilators, and that was in Lavington, which is about 6 miles away from where I live. So I was cycling cycle commuting in and out of there each way. So, it's nothing huge, but an extra 20k a day, which just, spins the legs out, and it's nice to be outside when it's sunny. And it all helps. It all adds up.
Keeps it going. So, but
Yep.
are you feeling the same motivation to train at the moment, or is it kind of slacked off a little bit? And the process. I've got a later question about your events, but just in terms of the question about motivation for training, do you find you're doing more? Like Felix said, a lot of people are doing more because they've got more free time and a bit more motivated, or are you doing a bit less and slacking off?
Yeah, well,
slacking off, the wrong word.
It makes you reassess the reason, your motivations and the reasons that you do it. Because if suddenly there's no races for you to focus on and you don't need to worry about that at all, then it's happened to a lot of people I know, and they think, well, there's no races, what's the point? Other than health-wise, but that then takes a whole different scope at your training in itself. You may not be doing the top end stuff, or you may not be doing as many miles, and you can just not go as fast realistically because you're not needing to hit that high pace in the same way. Because realistically, triathlon wise, we're not going to be racing for another year.
Yeah.
Pretty. So
you're just thinking leveling it off, and there's no taper, there's no build. It's just keeping it ticking over, keeping the interest and the fitness.
Yeah, and so I don't know. This may be follow on a little bit to one of your questions in terms of events and stuff, but there's a lot of virtual racing at the moment, which is brilliant, and that's a great way to get people involved and keep them motivated. It's not quite the same because racing is a huge social side of things, which I love, seeing people at races. But the virtual thing just keeps that alive a little bit, and you can still compete against the same people. I can still race Felix if we both signed up to the same one.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. That's really good.
And to be honest, the joy of watching you two, and it's great having you two on together, is because you do compete in a lot of local races against each other, but you're kind of from the same swim team. But it's great to know that you can compete but still be like really good friends. And
it's quite nice racing against Campbell, even though I hate losing to him, and he probably hates losing to me. I mean, I have beaten the last 2 races in Cotswolds, and just putting it out there. But no, it's nice having that kind of friendly competitiveness. So especially at swimming in squads, like he is a much better swimmer than I am. So it's quite nice trying to keep up with him. And he kind of pushes me, and then he probably doesn't want me to catch him, so that kind of pushes him. So that's quite a nice. That's another thing you miss about swimming.
Yeah.
But like me training wise, I don't know motivation. I kind of took it like it's given me something to do. Gives me a break from all my uni work. So it's quite nice me just training and doing my individual things. I don't feel like I've lost much motivation at all. I've got one race at the end of the year. If it will happen or not, I don't know, but at least it gives me like something to aim for. Because when it all happened, I didn't have anything kind of in my sight, so it was quite nice to have something. If it happens, if it doesn't, just have something to aim for. So I know I'm not like slacking off like people might be doing. But yeah, so my motivation is fine. I think I'm all good. And then like Campbell said, virtual racing is becoming more popular. But no, I feel quite good at the moment, to be honest.
So that leads on to the next one. With the events being cancelled, has it affected you mentally? It doesn't sound like it has.
No, I feel quite good. I know I've got one, but if it happens or not, I'm not too bothered. But it's quite nice seeing, like, I'm kind of working more on my weaknesses at the moment because I've got this massive amount of time. It's giving me time to do that. So it's not. I'm kind of taking it like looking on how to word it. Trying to look at the positives from the situation.
Uh-huh.
So it's time for like Campbell, I can work on my weaknesses, he can work on his, and then you come out of this with a new set of skills, so to speak.
Yeah, Absolutely, and that's the thing with the swim side of things. What I'm trying to get across to people I'm talking to, I've been asked a lot of advice on Messenger by people from all over the world who I've never heard of, but because we're posting quite a lot of sets and things. But it's basically that's what we're doing with swimming. Whether you're doing dry land or whether you've got a tethered pool, now is the ideal opportunity to work on those weaknesses. You know, because there's nothing coming up potentially this year for swim events either, and triathlon. So take the time now you've got it to just really peel it back. You know, there's no build; it's all going to be level fitness work, and just really do that technique work. So yeah, it's good. It's good. Sounds like
well, yeah. That being said, I've signed up for a big 5K race in about 4 weeks now, which has all been part of this T3 and the Grand, was it the GTN, the Triathlon Network?
Yeah.
And so they've set up a whole thing on getting a 5K PB. It was within 8 weeks, and everyone following a run program. And so that's going along with people like Mark Frefferall, who's on GTN, and Fraser and Heather, and the other people who are pro athletes or ex-pro athletes on there. And so that's just been something I've been following just to stay motivated, really, and it gives you something to aim towards. And it's an opportunity to do it and focus solely on that, which I wouldn't be able to do that this time in the season normally.
Yeah, if you were racing, you'd be focused on training for that, wouldn't it? So there's some positives that have come out of it as well, then, I guess. So, but have you changed your goals? Have you, you know, you both got races potentially coming up. Have you changed your goals long term? Because I know Luke had a very specific plan for this year, wasn't it? And it's kind of working out for you, apart from you not racing anything.
So, So this was kind of. So I had the aim of this year being quite a build phase anyway, leading up to next year, because next year is my final year in the under 23s as an athlete. And then after that, I'll be going into senior men's properly. So I was going to be using this year as more of a increasing the skills and tactics in racing, perfecting things to my ability instead of letting the race kind of adapt that. So I'll be attacking the race from where my strengths lie. But I don't really have the opportunity to practice that. I'm not too worried about that. I think that's something that, particularly over winter, or if I get the chance to go out at the end of this year and give a few races a go, then that would be great. And I can just try a few things out, really. Yeah.
Because you're going long as well, building for long distance from now on, aren't you, Fee? Or is that planned?
Yeah, so I'm going more like 70.3 Olympic kind of distance. Mine's been more strength based. Just getting used to riding that long and then running for like half marathon at the end. It's just kind of getting used to. It's a different style of racing. I know Campbell's done one as well, and you can probably vouch that there's completely different types of racing. Like with the shorter stuff, it's so fast. Like if you make one mistake, you know, race is kind of over. Whereas longer stuff, you know, if you do make a mistake, you've got time to kind of rebuild like where you are, which is probably quite good for me because I'm not as strong on the water, but stronger on the bike. So it's just me getting used to getting that strength and then building to then running quite quickly afterwards as well.
Cool. Sounding good. So got a couple more questions left for you. They're this one's a bit, you know, a bit yoga, like, you know, be mindful on it. You know, answers like with floating clouds and stuff. But are you going to take anything positive away from the whole coronavirus lockdown period? It's that question everyone's asking, isn't it? I keep saying everything's going to be a new normal because it's not going to be the same. And I don't want things to be the same. Having experienced this, things are going to get slightly different for me as a person. So what do you guys think about that?
Absolutely. It's a huge opportunity, not just within racing, but within general life to reevaluate mainly the things that matter and important. But I think we're very lucky to have this amount of social media and technology that we can do this. And you can talk to anyone in the world at the moment, and you can still interact with people, which is brilliant. And still order your shopping, things from Amazon, which is great. And so I'm a personal trainer, and so a lot of our stuff has been online at the moment. And so you're doing that from your own home. You're filming videos for people to follow, and that works really well. Although I miss the one-to-one interaction, of course, and actually being in a gym, there's still a big opportunity and a base to build on from this. And so if it then splits, so in 6 months' time we can go back to the gym, I've got a strong feeling that a lot of personal trainers will continue going forward with the online work, because there just seems to, it's so efficient and so effective that I can see that working quite well.
Yeah, and I feel the same. Even though it's swim coaching, there's a few bits of online work that I've been doing, like, the dry land sessions and the swim sessions. But yeah, it's a good way of trying out other things and seeing if they work.
Absolutely.
What about you then, Felix?
I think mode, like, just keeping myself, like, keeping going with things, just knowing that even when times are kind of like difficult, you can kind of continue on. But I think it's been really nice seeing, like, just people going out and exercising more. Just going out, like, even if it's just walking, like, people going out and doing things. I think I'm hoping, like, from just like a sports perspective, that people carry on with it. Not just like health benefits, but like it's going to take strain off the NHS and stuff like that. So I'm kind of hoping for, like, other people that they're kind of seeing the benefits of exercising daily or just getting out and doing things. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping is going to come out of this kind of situation.
No, it's a good point, because we, where we're based, but we see, it's not a through road, but we've seen a lot more runners who are, it's basically like New Year's Day. You're seeing all the new runners and all the families going out as family exercise. And, there's some good to come of it if they carry on doing that, because,
Absolutely.
it's going to benefit them in the long run, and all of the different sports that they might get interested in later on, whether it be a ball sport, chess, or or swimming or triathlon. It's good for everyone. That. So I got one final question. Triathletes and swimmers and sports people eat a lot, and we've got shortages of things. You can't get food. So what's your favourite food, and are you enjoying too much of it, or are you okay because you can't actually get it? I know my Ben's just ready to fridge, he eats anything, but he's keeping up his training, so he's still got the six-pack, but yeah. But he's still got the same level of appetite. So what about you guys?
Yeah, well, so when I do work, normally, it's in Malmesbury, and it's about 2.5k walk away, so I'll walk there and back each day, and I'm stood up throughout the whole shift, however long it is, around 8 hours. So I'm now not doing any of that other than my training, which I was doing anyway. So it's far less activity in terms of just general day-to-day stuff. And so I find that takes a toll on your body in terms of, calorie expenditure. But
big word.
Big word. I'm a big fan of omelettes. I love eggs, so every day I have an omelette with cheese and mushroom and garlic. So that's my number one that I have every day, which is
just got to reduce the amount of eggs you're putting in it.
yeah. Yes.
So the egg shortage a few weeks back that we had in Swindon, you couldn't buy eggs for about 2 weeks. Did that affect you?
Yes, it did. However, my sister works in co-op, so she was the first one in the queue to get the stuff.
What about you, Felix? What are you missing? That Big Mac and double fries?
Oh yeah, I'm missing that. McDonald's, KFC, all that. What am I missing? I don't know. I'm a big fan of peanut butter at the moment. I think that's kind of like my thing. You can have it have it on toast, but then it's quite a nice little snack to have, like, with a banana after training. So that's kind of my big thing, and luckily it's not gone into shortage yet. So I'm all right. So it's not too bad. That's kind of like my big thing at the moment, bit of peanut butter.
Oh, brilliant. Well, it's been nice talking and seeing to you guys. Is there anything else you want to finish off with before we?
What have you been eating a lot? What's your thing?
On me? Oh my god! No, I've actually, since I was, because just to explain for those that don't know, I got suspected coronavirus. And I didn't eat for about a week, and I lost about a stone in weight, and I'm still half a stone in credit. So for someone that is now starting to train, that's a good starting point. Not the best idea how to get there, but I've actually been eating more fruit than I ever have done for 2 years. So it's quite
anything specific, or is it just kind of general?
apples, oranges, bananas. I've been eating quite a lot of fruit, and I actually had fruit a few times now for breakfast with yogurt. It's far out for me, but no, I'm actually snacking less, and I have a lot more time because I was coaching actually takes up a lot of the day. It's not just go to the pool for an hour in the morning and then do a few sessions in the day. It is literally a 12, 14-hour day job. So now I have a little bit more time. I'm just doing background work. I've actually got time to kind of look after myself a bit more and not grab the first thing there. So the first thing generally that I look for is something which is a little bit healthier. So
come on. You've got to be honest, Jason. Are you glad you don't have to spend so many hours on the side of the pool every day?
No, I really miss it. I really miss it, and I miss the people.
Wow.
Like you said, the social side. That's not just the squad. That's me as well. Because I spend. It's like all of the athletes we coach are effectively your clients for one. So you want to look after them, and they're your clients for one thing. Are you still there, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my screen jumped then. They're your clients on one side. They're also your friends, and they're also your workmates. So when you take a big portion away, remember every week we coach hundreds of people. So there's hundreds of different faces that I see weekly. You take that away and you miss it. But one thing I don't miss is getting up at 4:30 a.m. every day.
No, I don't miss that. Even though I do it twice a week.
But no, excellent. It's been great talking to you guys. So after yourself, and I will see you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye bye.